realized my wife and I were walking through some of the workshops down there in San Clemente, and my wife says, somebody should document this before everybody's gone. And little did I know that 2 years later I was going to be the guy to go and do that. So I went out and bought a couple cameras and hired a couple of young guys that just graduated from college and from film school, and we just started shooting. Made one phone call after the other, and we ended up with 110 hours of footage. And it was really an editing nightmare. But the whole concept was obviously a heartfelt evolution of the sport and how these young people at the time unknowingly really touched the hearts of millions of people and crossed over all the social barriers that we can imagine would have never taken place. And so for me, shooting this film was exceptional because I got to experience some really heartfelt situations and got to meet a lot of great people. So I would like to bring a couple of people down that are in the movie today that really influenced the film. Rodney, would you come down here? Rodney is one of the amputee surfers.
Yeah. Justin, who is a surf historian, he had so much information that he's probably one of the reasons why we have so much footage. And I would like to basically speak a little bit about what they do and how, and basically this is really the first time that they've seen the finished product. So why don't you take out some time and just kind of explain what you do and how you felt about it.
Okay. Again, my name is Rodney Roller, and I'm the amputee surfer, and I'm a surf instructor in Pismo Beach. And back in 2006, I was approached by a Navy petty officer who was injured in the war, and he asked me to teach him how to surf. And I said, sure, and I ended up putting together the first annual surf clinic for the wounded soldiers, and now we're in our 5th year. And Jim Kimpton from Billabong was awesome to come and support our event, and he also, I believe, played a role and we did a part in the movie. So, thank you,
Yeah.
And it's been a big honor, and I really feel honored to be a part of the film. Thank you.
Cool.
I'm Jim Kimpton, and like Rodney said, it's a real honor to get a chance to see this movie, first of all. And I just think that Walter's done an amazing job of taking 110 hours of footage and making something that's so coherent. And although it's probably for some of you young guys, a bunch of old guys talking, it actually really captures a lot of what happened in the early years of surfing and how it came to be. And you know, one of the things that you hear over and over again in that is we really weren't doing it for the money, and we really didn't know what we were doing. And I'm quite a little younger than some of these guys in the movie. I had to bow down and pay homage to most of them because I was the pure rat that was working for them in the surf shop when they were figuring it all out. And it's really interesting for me because you see all these different regions of the surf experience, and you see all these people who are seminal figures, and I think Walter's done an amazing job of kind of tying all of those together and showing how the really early surf industry really came into being. So in my mind, this is a movie that I think will be something that people will look at years from now and learn about. I sure learned a lot just looking at it today. So appreciate it. Great job.
Thanks for being here. And one of the exciting things for me is that Smithsonian Institute has expressed some interest in having this as part of their exhibit, and the very purpose here was to really document as accurate as possible the history of the evolution of the Southern California surf scene and the industry as we know it today.
And how many festivals have you played?
How many what?
How many festivals have you played this at?
We've played about 6 festivals, won a couple of awards. I just want to mention also that the music was written by Stoll the Sandals, and a good part of the high energy guitars by our son, Max, who's 21 and was just graduating from Berklee School of Music, and was starting up a group.
So it's pretty exciting.
So after just 6 festivals, already the Smithsonian Institute, I mean, that's quite exceptional for a film to have, so I think a round of applause just for that alone.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you able to take some questions?
Oh, of course, yeah. If anybody's got,
Does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask? I have at least one that I want to do. I don't want to dominate, but I just kind of want to know, obviously, you told me that you did the music for Endless Summer, right, back in the 60s. How exactly did the idea to make this picture come about? How did that whole process start?
oh, basically it's because I visited our drummer, who was a shaper and glasser, and just realized that there was really a need to document these guys. There's already one fellow that's no longer with us, he's in the film. And I just wanted to be able to get their voices down and get it candid and just get the stories, you know.
How long did you work on this film?
We shot for 1.5 years, and from Santa Cruz all the way down to San Diego.
What was your hardest day of filming?
Actually, the difficult one was when we shot in Pismo Beach with the amputee guys, because I had never really thought about how does a double amputee serve, and the only way you could do it, as you witnessed, was to do a handstand. And the spirit, and we have some footage from that day that's enough to do a 20-minute documentary. But the spirit of these young guys is pretty incredible. The humor on the beach, some of the stuff they did was pretty exciting. But it took me a couple of weeks to get over the impact and these young men. Yeah, it was pretty incredible. Yeah.
Where is this film going next?
We're waiting to see if we're going to get into Toronto.
Cool.
And that's the big one we're looking for. And then New York surf film.
Cool.
And I noticed there's a lady in the audience whose film I watched yesterday. That was shot in Mexico, and I absolutely loved your film. It was really heartfelt. You did a great job on that film.
All my years of doing this, I've never heard a shout out from the filmmaker to somebody in the audience. That's a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Did Uncle Jim actually shoot any of the scenes, or was he just
I think the question was, did Uncle Jim?
Jim Kempton?
Yeah. Did he shoot the scenes, or was he just interviewed?
Did he, like,
Well, actually, I didn't shoot any of the scenes myself, but one thing I did want to tell a story about, because he said his most heartfelt moment was when he was shooting the amputees, and one of the things that I found was just so amazing that these guys who've lost arms and legs would come back out and surf. And the amazing thing about it was, you know, Rodney set this whole thing up, and he called me, I guess maybe it's the second year, and asked me if Billabong, which is the company I work for, would support that. And I took it to everyone in the place, and no one even asked permission. We just loaded up our trucks and drove up there. And we have a pro surfer that lives up there, and I called him to come down, and he said, you know, I said, I hate to teach people to surf, because it's so tiresome, and, you know, they squeal and they scream and they don't know what they want to do, and they're afraid to get in the water. It's really not very much fun to do. And I said, well, all right, you don't have to teach me, but just come down and watch it for a minute. And we got down there, and we saw these guys paddle out these amputee vets. And all of a sudden I saw him running for his car. Like a minute later, he has his wetsuit on, and he ran by me and he said, I can teach these guys. And I think that was the coolest thing, you know, was just to see, you know, how much energy and how much spirit they had, and how much determination. And it really shows what surfing can do, because these guys were completely different when they left, and they're injured more than just, you know, having their arms blown off and their legs blown off. They have other things that you know, worry them from the experiences they have. And surfing is an amazing thing to see what it does for them. So it was really a neat experience. We really appreciate getting that, you know, covered, because I think those guys would appreciate it too.
Yeah, I think the film does a great job of communicating the impact that surfing has on so many lives. Well, thank you for coming out. I'm sure Thea's going to stick around. If anyone has any questions, I'm sure you'll be around in the lobby to meet and greet. Yeah. I'd like to thank you for coming out, all of you, of course, and thank everyone else for coming out to the Newport Beach Film Festival. Let's have one more round of applause, everybody.